Hello and welcome to Susu's Kindergarten Videos. Today I am out on the New River Trail, which is a linear trail that runs from Pulaski to Galax, and it's about 57 miles long. And this is enjoyed by bicyclers, walkers, people who ride horses. And it's just a beautiful place to come and walk along the New River here. And of course, this used to be a train track, and they took up the train track to put this linear trail in. And we come here really very frequently to walk and bike. And I also come this time of the year to wildflower hunt, and I thought since it was the first day of spring I would share with you some of the wildflowers that we are able to see along the Lone Ash part of the New River Trail. The first wildflower that I've come across is called Bloodroot. And this is actually one of the very first wildflowers I ever learned to identify, which was many years ago. I was probably about 17 years old. And what is so cool about this wildflower is when it's in a bud form, it comes right up the center of the leaf. The leaf actually clasps around the flower bud. And then the flower comes first, and you can see that there are 8 petals, and the flower is white. And what is really cool, and the reason that this is called bloodroot, is because if you were to dig this up and pull the roots apart, they would have this orangish red substance that would exude from the roots. And if you break the stem, you would also see the same thing. Now, if you look at the leaf, which is fairly small right now, if you use your imagination, it kind of looks like your lungs do, which I think is kind of funny. But this will get 3 to 4 times larger. When the flower fades, the leaf will come on up out of the ground and get a lot larger. But this is a really cool wildflower, and you will see these early on. It's March 20th, so it's one of the first wildflowers to start coming up in the spring. Another wildflower is Dutchman's Breeches, and this is so cool. I love this wildflower. It's actually in the genus of Dicentra. You may have old-fashioned bleeding hearts blooming in your yard. It's a cool perennial to have. But this is a wildflower called, like I said, Dutchmans Breeches. And they look like little pantaloons or pants hung upside down, each little flower. So that's pretty interesting. I want to get around here where you can see it without the shadows. But the foliage is very thin and delicate, and is very cut down into sections along the edge. But the pantaloons or breeches are white with a little bit of yellow on the tip, as you can see there. And this one is just starting to bloom. And you see these little tiny flowers at the top, and they will continue to open up and grow as it gets taller. But that is Dutchman's Breeches. Very fun wildflower. Here we have Cutleaf Toothwort. And you can see how the leaves are lobed around the edge. And the flower is a very, very light pink, really more of a white flower than anything. But it's a low grower, blooms early on, and is very delicate. Cutleaf Toothwort. This is Scarlet Elf Cup. This is a fungus. This is not a wildflower, but you know, you don't run across these too often, so I thought it would be fun to share this anyway. And there are several growing right here together, and they are going to grow on dead or decaying hardwood trees. You can see there are branches laying here, and they've probably decayed, and it's promoted the growth of Scarlet Elf Cup. You can see they're red on the interior, and the outside is along the whitish side, but quite interesting. Very low growing to the ground. The only reason you really notice them this time of the year is because of the bright color. It's very bright and it really attracts your attention, so easily to spot. Interesting mushroom. I'm still on the New River Trail, and this is on an embankment that I had to climb to get to. But this is one of the early spring wildflowers, and it is called Hepatica. And what I think is just as interesting as the flower is the foliage. You can see that it has 3 lobes, and there's a little bit of variegation in the leaf, and this is actually the old leaves from last year. After the flower blooms, there will be new foliage that arises. You can see the flowers are these bell-shaped, white, pendulous flowers that hang down. Very delicate and pretty cool. Hepatica, great spring wildflower. Again, this is not necessarily what I would consider a wildflower. It actually does not flower, but it's so interesting and unusual to see. This is called horsetail, or equestrum is the genus that it's in, and it is just these straight spikes that stick up out of the ground, and they spread not by flowers or seeds, but by their rhizomes and spores like mushrooms do. And it really does spread. It is really covering a large area here next to the New River, and it actually goes over the bank and goes all the way to the New River. Let me see if I can get me a shot here where you can see this. Yeah, it goes all the way down to the bank, to the edge. So this has been here quite some time, and it is native to North America and Asia, which is pretty amazing because it is so strange looking. But horsetail, if you ever see that out, you'll know what it is. We're still here on the New River Trail, and you can see that the river is running over the rocks up ahead, causing the rapids. And it's just been a beautiful day for the first day of spring. And I hope this video encourages you to get out and start exploring, because this is just the beginning of the wildflower season, and it will really go through May. And of course, you'll also have wildflowers throughout the summer. But this is a fun time to get out and start exploring and see what you can discover. And it's fun times because spring is on the way. Over and out from Susu's Garden. Love you.